Human Trafficking and Social Media by Alex Feinberg. Human trafficking has been a topic of concern for local law enforcement and federal government agencies for centuries in the U.S. Unfortunately, through the separations of power and lack of communication between federal agencies and people in this country, many civilians are often unaware of trafficking instances near them when other law enforcement agencies may be investigating the matter. This leaves Americans vulnerable and unaware of their surroundings, which in turn creates myths regarding trafficking that make it hard for Americans to get properly educated on the matter at hand. In the 21st century, social media has been more prevalent than ever, often being a sole source of how people in our country receive information. It's imperative to be decisive about what information we trust online. Human labor and sex trafficking is such a broad topic that many false ideologies have been created around the subject, which in turn creates false public perceptions of the crisis taking place in the modern world. Here we have some myths regarding human trafficking that often stem from social media and the conversations people have online. Human trafficking only happens to vulnerable people or women. False. Human trafficking in the US and abroad is considered to be modern day slavery, and it's a public health concern that transcends between all races, social classes, demographics, and genders. In a single year, roughly 40 million people can be affected by human trafficking, and in 2016, 29 million people who were trafficked were women, which was 72% of the population, but not all. Due to the economic decline, along with high unemployment rates, men are also forced to seek jobs in wealthy countries where demand for their labor still exists, which in turn leads to migrants getting lured into snares of traffickers who arrange for their visas, transport, and placement, leaving them in a place with huge debts of work and no outlet to escape. Human trafficking takes place across the globe and can't directly affect me. False. Human trafficking takes place across communities all over the globe and can be happening in your local communities right under law enforcement's nose. While this fact remains true, human trafficking is not always disguised as we know it to be, and ultimately, through individual research, people can make substantial claims and contributions to fight against the process of human trafficking in the public eye. I can't make progressive change for human trafficking. False. Yes, you can. Social media plays a key role in the understanding of human trafficking because it is a platform where a multitude of perspectives get displayed on the matter. Regardless of education, being respectful and understanding how to use your voice positively can spark change within small communities or large audiences abroad. While understanding how to physically use social media platforms, we can help start factually backed conversations that may lead to new findings regarding the crisis, which in turn will create positive change through using your own voice. While social media can be very beneficial to creating new dialogue and forming new connections, we must be aware as active consumers that what we see on social media is always not factual or perceived correctly. Often information may be false or extremely misleading, so depicting the differences between reliable information and lies can be crucial to one's understanding of the topic at hand. Ultimately, human trafficking is an $150 billion industry funded through underdeveloped and underfunded communities, so the issue won't simply disappear or resolve over time without proper legislation and legal authority being developed and carried out. It has been argued that approximately 50,000 individuals are trafficked into the U.S. alone each year. Statistically speaking, there are roughly 600,000 annual trafficking victims around the globe, and this shows that the U.S. is not the main target in this epidemic but still a major role player in the trafficking system. Policing human trafficking is one of the main ways scholars argue we should attack human trafficking, by educating local law enforcement within communities to target human trafficking and modern day slavery. While educating the American people and reforming police culture around the country, we are making progressive changes to understanding trafficking in its fullest while creating dialogue and conversation between educated individuals. We can all play an active role in society to contribute to the diminishment of modern day slavery, and through our public voices, we can make positive change and create outlets for discussion with fellow citizens. Understanding that no one is near perfect and that we all have immense differences in opinion and upbringing is also crucial to being an upstanding citizen. Although we may not be part of a police force actively fighting the trafficking epidemic, being a supportive, upstanding citizen within your community overall will make it a better, safer, more natural environment to live in. With all this being said, human trafficking is a prominent ongoing crisis that needs the attention of the American people and must not go ignored. In other words, look out for one another, be careful online, and spread positive messages wherever you can. Displayed now is the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Click this link to be directed to their site and receive more information. Thank you for listening.